Hello everybody and welcome back to the Spring Hill Public Library's summer series. I'm Tim Hodge and I'm taking you through my little mini course on telling stories with pictures. We're going to draw a story. Now if you've already watched the first half, we started out with a single image story and then we expanded in how to tell a story in 3 pictures and then we did one in 5 pictures. Well, in this course, in this lesson, we're going to draw a story in probably about 12 panels. I'm shooting for 10, but I think we're going to get up to 12. And I'm just using some very simple tools. I'm just using a pencil, paper, a pencil, my paper, and a marker. Now this marker, as you saw in the last one, has, this is a one by Prismacolor, and it's got 2 tips on it. So one side is the fat tip, and the other side is the thin tip, so I can get, broad strokes and detail. Like I said before, 12 panels. Let's try this. And I say 12 panels. I tell a story in panels because most of my work is doing storyboards. And so every picture I draw has to fit in that frame that's the same ratio, the same size as a TV screen or a movie screen. But I'm going to go ahead and draw my 12 panels here. I'm going to draw 4 and then 4 and 4. And just prepare my paper here. You can use a ruler if you want to. Now, this is roughly the same size as a TV screen. Same ratio here. Now, when I got started in this business, I was drawing on paper like this, but we draw on a single pad, something maybe not quite this wide, but we would draw on this and then pin up the drawings. But now we all draw digitally. Everybody's working on their computer and working in different apps like Photoshop or Storyboard Pro or Sketchbook Pro. Now, coming up with the idea is the hardest part, trying to make something that's going to be entertaining. Here we go. We have 12 panels, 4, 4, and 4. So we have our beginning, a middle, and the end. Like I said in the last series, I like my beginnings, my setups to be really quick, to draw the audience into the situation as fast as possible. I don't want them to get bored or, turn the page before thinking, oh, this isn't going anywhere. So I like to set up the situation as soon as I can, and then have all the fun in the middle. That's where the complications happen, and then hopefully have a funny or at least satisfying resolution. All right, now the story I want to tell is about a cat, but that's the fun problem. What if we had a cat who's hungry? A common enough occurrence, right? And we're going to have him, let's see, we're going to introduce a cat being hungry. How are we going to show a cat that's hungry in 1, maybe 2 panels? How can we communicate this without words? We could just draw a picture of a cat sitting there going, I'm hungry. But let's accept the challenge of trying to tell a story with no words, just pictures. That old saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words, holds true. We're going to start here with drawing a cat bowl like this. Just an obviously empty cat bowl. And it is empty. And the cat, looking at it, is going to be sitting down. We have what I want to make sure his posture does not look happy. So he's going to be hanging over it. His neck is going to be out like this. Here's his head, his pointy ears. His eyes are going to be upset. That's another reason we know it's empty. Just these straight lines on top, these little half moon shapes. Looking down at his bowl. Little triangle nose. Let's square off his jaw. like that. And let's keep his paws kind of simple so we don't spend all our time drawing cat anatomy. And his back leg is like that. Notice cats have their back and they have their shoulders and their neck. Like kind of a very unique cat shape. There, hungry cat. Once upon a time, a cat was hungry and not happy about it. So if you think of each panel as at least like a sentence in a story. Cat was hungry and upset about it. So he wants to, but it's still like he has to have an idea. What's he going to do about it? What happens next? The key saying in any story, what happens next? Let's cut into a close-up. Now we could show the story could be about the trouble of him trying to reach it. Now, if I'd made this third panel, way up on a high cabinet, that would be the story too. But of course, cats can climb on everything. I don't know if that would be as interesting of a story. I think the bigger story is how does a cat open a can of cat food? We can cut ahead. We don't have to show him going up and reaching the thing and reaching the cat food and bringing it down. So I'm going to have the next panel, another medium shot right here. The cat, his head's going to be this way. He's going to be looking, again, it's kind of the same expression. He's going to have this expression a lot. Looking at I'm going to square off his jaw again like that. There. He's going to be holding up in his little paw. Going to try to keep this anatomy not human-like. I don't want to give him fingers and like an anthropomorphic, there's that word again, an anthropomorphic cat. I want to keep him fairly cat-like. Anthropomorphism is like if you think of the Disney animated film Robin Hood, where all the characters are, you have foxes and bears and rabbits, and they're all dressed in clothes, and their paws are more like fingers. They manipulate things. This is more like giving slightly anthropomorphic, like Lady and the Tramp, where they still act like animals, or the Aristocats. They still have pretty basic animal anatomy. They just talk. That's the only difference. He's not going to talk, but he's going to have human facial expressions. But I want him to have the same problems of not having a thumb. I'm going to draw this can a little bit more at an angle. I'm going to turn that cylinder, it's a short cylinder, on its side a little bit so we can see the fact that it's closed and he can't open it. Here, let's go down to our next row of our next row of panels. Because this is where I'm going to have him try to get into the cat food in different ways. He's going to try his darndest. I got to open this can of cat food because I'm hungry. Maybe before that, he should try to eat it without. I think that's a good idea. We're going to show him biting the can. And then, guys, I got to open it. And he's going to try as he might to open this can. All right? Maybe 3 or 4 different attempts here. And then we'll have to have a funny ending. So his first attempt, he's just going to try to eat the can. Simple, kind of funny. So, still kind of a close-up here. Now, there's 2 reasons to use a close-up. Like in this one, we want to show detail. We want to show a specific action, a specific expression, and we need that emphasis, having the camera close on our subject. Another reason is if you want to hide something from the audience, so you want to just save a little bit of information for later. Like if you have somebody walking along and you're close on their face, and they stop, and then they get an expression, and look down, that's another reason, because you can surprise the audience. What did they step in? You know, it could be, you know, a mud puddle. It could be, you know, a cow pie. It could be a, you know, a bear trap. In this case, yeah, we're wanting to keep this. We're wanting to show something to our audience. This is a part of the joke. If this wouldn't work as well in a wide shot, we want to see. Him attempt to take a bite out of this can. Get a little nose up here. His mouth wraps around there. His eyes are all scrunchy down there. That didn't work. So the next idea, the can is going to be on the ground here. This is going to be a wide shot. I'm going to have his whole body here, much like we did in the first panel. We've got our wide shot here. Actually, I'm drawing that can too big. I realize that's about the size of his cat bowl. This can's going to be smaller. So here, the cat is going to be over this, and he's got a fork. I'm going to draw his head lower because he's going to have a fork in his little paws. His body's going to be over here. I need more of that arced look. He's attacking it, so let's get his body even more arced here. His little kind of teardrop shaped body. Draw little cat legs here. Maybe just get his tail up there. Now these little half moon shapes are getting a little more angry here. And this one's going to show him just stabbing that can, just oh, the can's going to be shaking around and just everywhere, just rattled. It's going to be off the ground. We're going to draw double images too to show it's in motion. Let's see if I'm going to draw this back going the other way to show some change from this one. Now I got his back legs, you can see it up here in the air. His feet, now this, drawing his little knees and heels there. Draw a little shadow under him so you can see he's floating. His arms are down in front now. Fork is just stabbing that can. Ding, 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 ding. His little face here. His eyes still clenched. Make sure he's not hitting the edge of my frame there. Like just enough space around him too. There. That didn't work. And he's, should I do a close-up? I was going to do a close-up, but I think, let's keep it this wide shot, the same shot. I'm going to change my idea. But the can's a little dented here. But the cat is tired. He's sitting back, looking down. His eyes are up a little bit. The half moons are a little tilted up a little bit now. He's still holding his fork. We're going to put detail on that there. Keep a real simple cat shape. They've got those narrow chests and big, at least my cats, big haunches, big hindquarters. The nose there. Maybe his hands on his hip there. Give him a little posture, a little attitude. So he's got to have his next idea, which is going to be an axe. You know, I might have to do this in more panels. I have room enough for a bottom row. Yeah, this is more involved than I thought. But I'm going to have him, going the other direction. Let's change it up a little bit to add a little more interest. Let's put the can on the other side of the screen. Right? The screen, the panel. Now, not too near the edge. I want to keep it, some space around it. I'm not going to draw on the edge of the panel. That's not the ground. That's not the floor. It's like just the edge of the camera, the edge of a photograph. Rear and really back. So his head's going to be a little smaller here. Same kind of teardrop body shape. Now you're saying you're drawing too fast. You drew slower last year in your lessons. Well, yeah, because I had a whole bunch of people following along for one thing, but also when I draw storyboards, I have to draw fast because I have to draw a lot of these during the day. Get his arms up here, his little fist. I'm going to have to move this panel over a little bit. I ran out of room. I'm going to scoot that over and put the edge over here on that side. Now I can't just make it wider because if this is a TV storyboard, you can't just make everybody's TV screen wider to show it, right? Well, if I were drawing at a computer, I could just scoot everything over, but I'm not. And this is going to be a big axe. Again, his eyes are crunch, short, little, and his tail. I made that can just a little bit smaller in relation to him. Let's keep the scale consistent because we had to back up and have an even wider shot. Yeah, my ideas are getting much too complicated to keep this in 12 panels. So I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna let him use chainsaws or dynamite or what else could he drop on it. But that would be a lot of fun. Let's see, I've got to show that the axe didn't work. So a close-up of this can. So we're going to draw that cylinder, but dented in the top. So the bottom of it's still going to have that round edge like this. This is a close-up of it. But the top is going to be dented, but not cut. And we're going to have the big axe come down like that. Smack. Clang. Again, we can imagine some sound effects in there. If you want to write clang over here, you can. Little speed lines coming down. I'll draw some impact lines coming like that. Smash. So in the next panel, we need a reaction shot. We're going to show that he's upset. We'll do another close-up here. And his eyes are going to be the same little half-moon shapes. He's tired. Oh, it'd be fun to do a whole page of these and just all the different ways he could go in. That didn't work either. We get just a simple reaction shot. Let's see, I want his owner to come home. So he's going to be over here on this side. We're going to go do another wide shot. His eyes are going to be open, not just the half moons. He's going to be excited. Deciding we can break our rule, show his mouth and have him smile for once. Little paws there, little haunches. And here we're going to see just a skirt and his owner's feet. Just some simple shoes. So let's draw another row here. So I said 10 or 12. Looks like we might have to go to 16. So we'll show a close-up of the can on can opener. Let's see if we can. It's turning around, and that blade goes in there. I need to show her the lady's hand right here. Got a little thumbnail. Just her hand peeking in the frame. Pressing down the button. So what's our next panel got to be? It's got to be. We have to show him happy and expectant, and then disappointed. So she opens it up. Close up of the cat. Looking forward. He has to lean into this, so he's like leaning forward into the shot. Big expectant eyes. And we're going to show his mouth here. Still kind of square off that jaw to keep our same design here that we had before. And in this shot, next shot, she's got to be holding the can in front of him. Let's see, it's got to be like down in that area so he can see it. Now this is going to be a little bit old-fashioned, because if you've ever seen those older can openers, if you don't cut the lid off all the way, it just lifts up like that. So, and we have her hand in here, we have her thumb on the side of it. There. It's hard for me to draw down here, the bottom of my easel is getting in the way. Let's just simplify her hand. Thumb coming in like that. But we're going to write peaches right there on the side of the can. Wah, wah. And our disappointed cat over here. Might not need that last panel. There. He's going to look at us with his very disappointed face. This is what's called breaking the fourth wall, by the way. When a character looks right at camera, if they're in a drama or even on stage, and they look out at the audience, it's called breaking the fourth wall. Because if you go to a play, or even on most TV shows that are filmed in front of an audience, there's the set that they work in. If it's their family living room, it's got 3 walls, right? It's the back wall and 2 side walls, and they act inside that. The fourth wall is an invisible wall that we get to look through and watch, whatever show we're watching, do what they're going to do. So that's an invisible wall, and if the characters break that, it's like they come out of reality and they acknowledge that we're watching them. So anytime you see a show and someone's doing something and they mess up or something silly happens, and they look right at you, it's called breaking the fourth wall. So, one little extra. I could have done it in 24 or 30. I wanted to have so many different ways of him trying to open that can. I wanted him to use dynamite and a chainsaw especially. So that's your assignment. So I gave you homework on the previous lesson to experiment. This is your excitement. All this middle bit. I want you to figure out how many other ways that this cat could try to open that can. The more ridiculous, the better. Now let's clean this up. Let's go back to panel 1 and work on inking it. we've gone from this expectant pose to one that's just kind of hunched over. So that posture, that pose is a big part of storytelling, especially if you're not using words. You want to be able to communicate a character's attitude with no words. Even if you have words, you want to make, this is great practice to get into if you're going to draw comic strips or storyboards or comic books. To tell a story with no words, if you can communicate clearly without specifically writing it down there and letting the audience know what's happening. That way, when you do get a story where you need dialogue and you're storyboarding a cartoon that has actors doing the voices, you know that you've done the best job possible in communicating attitude and personality as best you can, just visually. So all the words and dialogue is icing on the cake. It makes it better. But the core of it is right here in getting your staging and your attitude and your character all just put out there visually. So there's our little kitty food adventure. I hope you've had fun with it. I hope you expand on it and make it even funnier in your own sketchbook. Thank you for joining me. I hope you had a great time. I've had a blast. Thank you to the Spring Hill Public Library for inviting me to do this. I can't wait to do it again. So keep reading, keep drawing, and we'll see you soon.